Given how devastated Syria has been by the terrible civil war of well over a decade, how do you intend to achieve your vision for Syria, and what do you seek from the United States and the West to help you achieve that?
يعني هناك كانت قطيعة في العلاقات.
There has been a severance of relationship between Syria and the United States over the past time. But however, the collapse of the former regime gave a new opportunity as a new historical phase. The region has suffered over 60 years, especially over the past 40 years and over the last 14 years of the civil war. Now there has been a historical transition that gave an opportunity in the region. There has been shared interest between Syria and the West and the United States in the current phase. And if we would like to talk, if we use the language of shared interest, there's a lot of principles that the U.S. and Syria share, and the West in general. I'd like to avoid that Syria only looks for relationships and friendship and donations, but we try to break the restrictions. We have to lift the restrictions and lift the sanctions put on Syria, because these sanctions were put because of the regime of Hafez al-Assad since 1979, even before we were born, because that was a country that fostered terrorism and such. These sanctions, specifically the Caesar law that was pushed by the American Congress on the former regime because it had tortured and violated human rights on its people. It had committed many violations against the Syrian people. But this is a former regime. This is past. So therefore, these sanctions have to be lifted. And if these sanctions remain with the old regime collapse, then they'll be targeting the people and not the regime, the former regime. I think Syria deserves a new opportunity at life, and Mr. President Donald Trump took a bold decision to lift the sanctions speedily, but it is still pending at the Congress, and the Congress also has to push to better the situation in Syria, because the Syrian people have suffered over the last decades, and the sanctions should not remain because it causes a burden on the people who've already suffered by the oppression of the former.